Okay. So al-ghurmu bil ghunmi, liability accompanies gain. Okay, which is the liability is responsibility. Okay, when we are liable, so we actually have right to receive any gain, any profit from that liability because we have performed our liability or responsibility. Like the example of security guard. So their task and responsibility is to safeguard the area or to safeguard anything that actually imposed towards them under their job. So when they safeguard all the area, the surroundings, or the community, so they have right to apa? To receive a salary. Okay, to receive gains from the liability. Like you all when you work at any company, so you are responsible to do a certain task. So that is why you have right to receive gains, some things, payment or salary from your job. Okay. So liability accompanies gains. No liability, no gains. So that is why one of the maxim I think you have presented about the maxim is like apa we are not entitled to any works that we do not perform it. I forgot what was the maxims sentence of the maxim. No right for unjust effort kan, no right for an unjust effort, sama lah, we have no right to receive, uh, we have no right towards anything that we do not perform. Okay. Okay, so two keywords in this maxim is actually al-ghurmu and al-ghunmi. What is al-ghurmu? Ghurmu is damage or loss or the burden borne by a person, which is the liability. Okay, the burden borne by a person in his wealth in compensation for harm. Okay, that is neither a crime or no apa tertiary. Okay, so al-ghurmu means the liability or the burdens, the responsibility that we borne. So al-ghunmi is gains, profit or advantage. So acquiring something which was not owned before, which is the gain lah, or the salary or the payment or advantage. Okay. So these two actually comes together. When there is the liability, then we have right to receive gain. Okay. Okay. So in the macam tu ya. Okay. This one in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 275. Um, Allah said on this ayah basically related to riba. Riba. Kan Allah said Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allazina ya'kuluna riba la yaqumuna illa kama yaqumul ladzi yatakabbathu syaitanu minal mas. ذلك بأنهم قالوا إنما البيع مثل الربا وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا. Okay, so this very famous verse that reflect the prohibitions on the riba. Okay, Allah stated riba and buy and sell at the same time. Okay, but at the end of the day, Allah said at the end of the ayah, here after that Allah mentioned about riba is haram. Okay, so I think I have mentioned before that the possibility of happening or we do a riba in buy and sell is high. That is why Allah mentioned in the same verse on the provisions towards riba. Okay. So when we want to relate with this maxim, is actually talk about when we do not have right to receive any profits on the work or on the transactions that we perform riba. Okay, so like say we sell something that is broken, but we inform the buyer that the goods are in a good conditions. So in that case, okay, we do not have right to receive any profit any payment from that goods, because it's already riba. Because riba, there are two types of riba, kan? Riba in financings and debt, and also riba in buy and sell. Because riba is unequal exchange of value between goods, or between money and goods. Okay, so when we selling something that is broken, but we receive the value of the goods that in a good conditions, meaning that there is not equal counter value, not equals of exchange between goods and the money that we receive. So it's basically riba, riba in buy and sell. Okay, so we do not have right lah, because in this maxim, al-ghurmu bil-ghurmi, when there is a responsibility, when there is a liability, then we have right to be rewarded. We have right to receive a reward for it. But in the case of riba, we do not have right to receive any profit or any payments when there is a riba, when we incur riba. Okay. Okay, so this is the translations of the verse. Okay, and in the hadith, from Aisyah radiallahu anha, from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet said, al-kharaj bid-daman. Al-kharaj bid-daman. Benefit goes with liability. Meaning that when we receive benefit, there must be a liability upon it. Okay, when we are paid with a certain salary, so we actually liable to do a work, to do any task that assigned to us. There is no benefit that come to us freely. Okay, except the benefit that coming from the sadaqah. Sadaqah, we receive a money. Sedekah, duit sedekah. So no liability lah. But other than that, actually it will comes with liability. When you receive a scholarships from the government, what is your responsibility? What is your liability? Apa dia?
Score.
Score lagi apa? Study lah, kan? Study hard, study smart, and then finish your study, kan? So that is your liability. When you receive a scholarship, when you receive a money from your parents, you also responsible to study. When your parents said, okay, okay, I give you 100 ringgit for the expenses, but please study hard, please study smart, don't do any waste. Okay, don't waste your time. Don't do anything except study. That is your liability or responsibility. Okay, so in Islam we have to understand what's the meaning of responsibility. When we are responsible, when then we do not perform that responsibility, for sure we will be asked later on. Okay, tak ada hilang macam tu. Okay, so later on in the hereafter, in the akhirat, Allah will ask us, what do you do with all the responsibility that you receive? Okay, so have you performed all your responsibility? Then after that you receive a reward, you receive a pahala, kan? So that will be question the responsibility. So same with if Allah give a pahala. Tak ada pahala free kan? Ada tak pahala free? No. The free rewards. Allah want us to perform solat. Allah want us to assist others. So we will be rewarded. So benefit goes with liability. So we are liable when we perform our liability. When we perform our responsibility, then we have right to receive the benefits upon it. Okay? So this maxim is very important. That's to remind us no free reward except sadaqah. Okay, whatever reward that we receive, we liable, responsible. When we are responsible, we will be questioned in the hereafter. Okay. Okay, from Ali radiallahu anhu, the loss is upon the capital and the profit is according to what they stipulated. Okay, this one I think it may relate to the contract of mudarabah and musyarakah. The loss is upon the capital. when there is a loss in mudarabah or musyarakah, okay, the investor will be lost in terms of capital, how much the capital that they have invested. Okay, and the profit is according to what they stipulated. So profit is agreed, kan? Profit sharing, kan? Profit sharing agreement between the investor and the mudarib. Okay, the businessman from Ali Radham. Okay, so applications of this maxim in the banking industry. First, financings that given to the customer, so the bank deserves to gain some profit. So in the banking industry, when the bank approve financings to the customer, okay, that is why the banks, because when they give a certain portions of money to the customer, they actually lost their having opportunity cost. They lost the opportunity to give to other customer or to make investment. Okay, because of that, case they have right to receive a certain profit, a reward from this. Okay, and then second one, deposit product offered to customer under liability of the banks, thus they have right to invest it. Okay, this one for the deposit product. When the customer put maybe 1,000 deposit into Mudarabah General Investment Account (MGIA) to the bank. Okay, um, the bank responsible to make investment, to invest the customer money. Okay, so because of they actually responsible, that is why they have a right to share the profit from the investment. Okay, the one is MGIA lah. Okay, another thing is deposit product based on this one based on product based on the contract. If deposit product based on a wadi'ah yad damana, not wadi'ah yad amana, but wadi'ah yad damana. So this wadi'ah is safeguarding contract. The bank safeguard the money, the deposit money of the customer in wadi'ah contract. When the bank safeguard responsible to save deposit of the customer, and at the same time they have the right to invest the customer money and make a profit from it. Okay, and later on maybe they can give the customer hibah lah from the investment. Okay, because of wadi'ah contract, wadi'ah is not investment contract like mudarabah. So it's not responsibility, not compulsory for the bank to share the profit from the investment to the customer. But in this case, the bank responsible to safeguard, to ensure the customer deposit is there when the customer need. Anytime the customer can withdraw their money at ATM machine, the bank safeguard the money. So when the bank responsible, so at the same time they have right to make investment to be rewarded from that responsibility. Okay. I think okay. So in the case of financings also, that one, the first example is from the bank's perspective. Other perspective is from the customer perspective. Okay, when they receive a financing, they receive money from the bank, they actually responsible. Okay, they actually responsible to pay back the responsibility, the liability of the customer to pay back the money that they receive from the bank. Okay, so benefit comes with liability. They receive money, financing money, but they are responsible to pay back, to return back the money to the bank. Okay, I'm worried that okay, no problem Okay, sama lah macam tu. Okay, so application in daily life. Okay, house rental, university facilities, performing ibadah as servant will be rewarded in the hereafter, do charity or wakaf. Okay, in the case of house rental, so when the house is rented to a one tenant, for example, so the tenant receive a benefit by staying and utilizing all the facilities in the house, and at the same time the tenant responsible to take care of the house. To safeguard the house. Okay, the benefit comes with responsibility and university facilities. The university have given you facilities, a library or any bus stop, any lab. Okay, makmal kan, lab, any facilities, mahalah ke whatever facilities, there is actually a reward. Okay, the benefits that you receive from the university. At the same time, you responsible to take care, jaga, to take care of those facilities. There is apa nama dia, advice. Okay, there is the maxim about. Okay, when we receive a benefit, we are responsible toward it. We are responsible to take care of it. Okay, and okay, third example is performing ibadah as sovereign will be rewarded in the as I mentioned before lah. Okay, so how Allah how to be rewarded? So we have to perform our responsibility. Okay, no reward without responsibility. Allah tak ada macam how to determine whether we will be included, we will be in the paradise in the hereafter by performing all the responsibilities. Kan? So when we do not perform, so for sure we cannot enter the paradise later on. So make sure we perform our responsibility, then we deserve to be rewarded Allah's paradise, Jannah. Okay. And then do charity or wakaf. That is also our responsibility. Allah give us money. Allah give us everything in this world. So we are responsible to apa? To give a zakat. Zakat is our responsibility. Okay, the reward that Allah give, the wealth that Allah give to us, so we are responsible to pay zakat. That is responsibility and it is a must. Same like charity and wakaf, we help others, that is our responsibility when we receive a wealth from Allah. Yeah. Ni example lah. Ni no actually this is wrong and bad. Uh, Nama dia no responsibility at all. Okay. So who is going to compensate the damage? Lah. Okay. So that's all for this maxim. Okay. Um, is it clear, class?
Okay, madam. InsyaAllah.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Senang je kan. So the thing is, what is the most important thing is to reflect ourselves. Whatever we learn now, it should increase our iman. Okay, not only to increase our marks in the final exam, in the assignment. No, whatever that you encounter, whatever that you face, whatever that you learn now or in this semester or in this month or today, it should increase your iman. It should increase our iman. Okay, please make it as a advice, as a reminder. And it is planned by Allah. Okay, not only a lesson for the course of Qawaid Fiqhiyah. No. Okay, it's meant for advice to increase our iman. We should upgrade our iman daily, every day. Whatever we learn, it should reflect ourselves. It should reflect our iman. Boleh? Boleh ya? Okay, sebab matahari dah ada ni. Okay. So any questions so far? No question? Okay. Yeah. I want to stop the